Hey, thanks so much for coming in today. I know you were just kind of curious why you're still having some pain even though your your injury was 6 months ago. And pain is actually a really complicated process, and originally people sort of thought that anytime you had pain it meant that something was wrong or that something was being injured. And we're learning more and more that that's actually oversimplified, um, that there's a lot of different factors that contribute to pain. And one of the best examples of this is, let's say you've been having a tough day. Let's say you had to drive 14 hours and you ended up having to stay somewhere that you didn't plan on staying, and you got another 14-hour day the next day. There was no good place to get dinner, and so you've just had a tough day, which happens. And then on your way back into the truck, you stub your toe or you hit your shin on the hitch. This kind of thing can be super frustrating, and in that moment, you might even, yell out a cuss word or something, and be super mad about it, and it would hurt really badly. However, on the other side, let's say you've had a couple of days off. You're just barbecuing in your backyard, hanging out with the dogs or whatever. You got your family hanging out with you. The football game's on. Everything's going great. Beautiful, sunshiny day. And let's say, again, you take a misstep and you accidentally kick the propane tank. And you stub your toe or you hit your shin just as hard as in the other example, but everything's going so well that day that it hardly even bothers you. You hardly even notice it. This is sort of an example of how there's a bunch of other different factors that contribute to our interpretation of pain. And in both cases, there was no damage done to your tissue. If you stub your toe, maybe you get a scrape or maybe you get a bruise on your shin, but nothing is really wrong here. So it's sort of an example about how the severity of pain doesn't necessarily mean that it's not a good indicator of how big of a problem there is. Anyways, I hope this helps you kind of navigate your way through these, I like to call them altered nervous system signals.